Start to train, we have to think about what the world looks like for that dog. Now, when we take a little dog and hold it close to us, or even the Great Dane. All right, now you're looking up at me. You're supposed to be happy. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So which is more comfortable, Joan? This or this? This.
This is fun.
When we stand over the dog with the dog in heel position, we're looking way down, especially a dog, those, down to your ankle type dogs. How scary for the dog. We need to teach that dog that we're trustworthy first at a distance. She can relax here. But when I come in here, and she's not acting, this is exactly what happens. If Wiley was here, I'd do my exercise where I put him up on this table, and people would sit in a chair by him with their head on the table, looking up at this big 115-pound German Shepherd. I mean to tell you, that is a scary view. And it was my dog, and he was wonderful. He'd look down at It's hilarious.
That's terrible.
Well, people don't remember that.
They would remember that.
They would remember that. Okay. All right. Kathy knows what this is. I don't even need to lead for Kathy. Okay? But look at her back away. First of all, she can't see because of the bill of her hat. So you take a dog with hair. Now, just move a little bit away or hook him. Carolyn, go hook him in the center. And Gary is right. A dog should not be bugging him all the time. But the closer we are, the more concerned that dog will be. So Nancy's not the least bit afraid of me here. Look at her. Yeah, I mean, this is what happens. So I want you to be obedient. You sit over here next to me. Now that would make him even more worried, wouldn't it? For a piece of treat. Keep your lousy treat. Right? Look at her.
Your friends. And your friends.
Yeah, I mean, but you think about it. Now, in a guy like Ray, look at it. He's getting ugly. Now, his natural tendency would be to stand up, because this is very uncomfortable. So for that Great Dane, with you standing over her, she's either going to go down or she's going to step up. And she's respectful enough, she doesn't want to step up, so she kind of gets worried. Now, when a judge comes, okay, Joan, come on over here. Okay, so now it's not just me here. Now we got a judge over here. Okay, now you're going to examine his neck. So why would a dog be comfortable?
I'm going to look at his teeth. I'm right here. Right here in face.
Thank you. And look at the dog. She's standing up. She's like, get away from my dad. Now, there's no way a guy like Mark, he's ready to get up now. I wouldn't sit there. I couldn't. That's survival. That puts you in an awful position, doesn't it?
You in a bad position.
It's me in a bad position, that's right. Because that's threatening. So why would that little dog enjoy being next to a stranger? Not
And I was at a meeting last night, and people had an attitude.
Say it
And
again.
Katie was trying to pull me away.
Yeah,
She didn't want me to be in that room anymore.
right.
You know,
That's what a service dog does.
and I did. I left.
They're
had
good
no
for
choice.
you.
I had no choice. Katie was going to leave me out, and that was it. So,
So a service dog, a true service dog, is a dog that is respectfully disobedient. Katie said, Mark, you need to get out of here. Mark wouldn't have left. He won't back away. Katie says, come on, it's time to get out of here, right?
it's because somebody had an attitude behind me.
That's right. Behind you?
Behind me.
Wow, that was even worse.
It was worse.
Uh-oh.
See, Katie, it's only Pat.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this. She's smiling, but she doesn't mean it. Now, there are people that condition themselves because of their jobs. They condition themselves not to react in a way that makes sense to them. Those people laugh because they can't do anything else. That's right. That's right. But that's a dog that'll get silly. But they don't mean it.
Oh boy, there are a lot of those.
Oh, yeah. And then you try to go reach for him. He would be one. He gets a little silly. You reach right down there for him. That's something you have to condition. Now, look at this. Your head goes down.
She's looking down.
She's looking down. That's right.
Looking up.
Yeah, but if you're a milder person who really, I mean, my mother was that way. If anybody would have really confronted her, she didn't live in that world. So when a person like this, well, Sue is just the most gracious person in here. I don't know about Audrey. I have a feeling she's probably the same way. But the most sweetest, nicest, most considerate person. And then you pair her up with a rotten little terrier that says, you got to be more of a handler than that. We've watched Sue's journey, and she is doing good. But last week, I put the pinch collar on Diva, and has it been a better week? Yeah. Because the pinch collar is doing the job that Sue can't do. Sue doesn't live in a violent world, and she doesn't want to. That's why we need tools to help us with the dogs. Tools. The dog's conditioned. The dog is fine. And by the way, Benny, who is her father, we watched his journey. What a beaten down, now not beaten, but his attitude was beaten down. And you know, I haven't been all that kind. I mean, I've been kind, I've been fair, but I never let him slide back down that hill. He left last Friday to go with a really nice woman down by the Chicago area, and he's going to be used in grooming competitions, and you should see him. He stands up there on that table like he owns the world. It is the most wonderful training accomplishment I have had for years. To bring that dog out of the gutter up to here. And he's walking on the lead. He walked right out the door with her, never batted an eye. That is by far the hardest training you have to do, is to take a dog that has been convinced he's nothing. Or a child that's convinced they're nothing. Or an adult that's convinced that they're nothing. And have them step up above something more powerful. So Benny truly was a challenge. She's just her spoiled brat. Good girl. She came in nice today. So, what do you think of all that? Oh. Now, this would be the golden. I love you. I love you. Whatever. Beat me. Give me a treat. Whatever. I don't care.
I don't beat her.
Well, maybe you should. Turn her into a terrier. Maybe that would be better. No, not really. Not really. Now, first of all, she doesn't know me. But what was she saying? Go back into that mode again.
Oh,
just
a
kind
happy mode?
Okay. I don't want to challenge you at all. If I now.
I'm not meek.
No.
I'm not meek.
I know
but
you're
I'm
not.
willing
You're
to-
playing.
I am
You're
playing,
confident
but I'm
enough to play.
willing to meet you on the same level.
Okay. But if you looked like that and you were a dog, you would be a border collie or a golden, right? Okay. And if you were a border collie, sweet, happy border collie, and I hollered at you, what would the next thing be, Joan? And what would they do then? Pee. Submissive urination. That's exactly right. So, in a person who is lacking confidence, now just because we're playing, okay? If you are in a foul mood, and now she's not only, what was your name again?
Linda.
Linda. Okay, Linda's not only in the mode to not argue with me, she wants attention. So now you're leaning your hand on me, or your head on my arm. Please, I love you. Okay, kind of go into that mode. Oh, the worst thing you can do to somebody who's struggling is to pair them up with someone who's weak. Because if I'm already weak and I'm already worried and she's saying, I love you, show me what you want, I don't know what to do myself, get away from me. Oh, but come back, I love you. You will end up with a piddler. She had some of that. When I got close to her, she wilted. A dog show is all about people in your face. Crowding personal space. Okay. Look at this. Oh, sticky. Because we all value personal space. This is a conditioning. You have to sit there now. We're going to work on your teeth or whatever. You know, the dentist. Think how invasive that is. That's why we don't like dentists.
And they also put their tools right here.
Absolutely.
I
with
just
a light.
had a bunch of work done.
With a light. Yeah. It feels unnatural.
And they put a bib on you like you're 6 months old.
I know. Now, if it was a weighted, and you know, that's pretty cool. Like the X-ray vest.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. Now, what would you do naturally if somebody stood over you like this?
Probably stand right up.
You bet you would. We're related. That ain't gonna happen. And a person who is confident enough, first of all, she knows that she's powerful. She's weighed the circumstances. I'm not really going to hurt her. So she can keep herself there. But if it was a stranger, it was somebody came up with an attitude, there's no way she'd sit there. Now, look at Gary's posture. Arms crossed. What does that tell you? Don't mess with me. Right? Well, it's true. I don't like it either. I don't like it either. So one of the things with people like that, and I'm just going to touch your shoulder, okay? You start out just like the dog. Now, we all have similar temperaments to different dogs. So if I was encountering a dog that had an attitude like this, and they are, your Great Dane, the Min Pin. All right. You start them out, remember, oh no, I worked with a Papillon last night. He had an attitude. You didn't touch him. So, the line, all right, so if you hold that, all right. Now, pretend it's here. So as a dog, I would get some tension here, and then you're fine. Okay? And it would be short pieces like that. And then pretty soon it would be, you're fine, and it would come in quicker. The next thing is you end up being more familiar, carry the dog around. That's what he needs.
Oh boy.
Okay, please don't hurt me.
Please go behind the chair.
Yeah, but what's funny about this is, I mean, this is just a game. But what's funny about this is that's what your dog sees. So when your dog, look at this.
I know. Well, I'm fighting it, you know.
I know
It's
you
like,
are. I'm
it's
playing
like,
with you.
Oh my God.
I'm playing with you. No. This is a growth, personal growth. You got an Airedale. You're training Paul Newman. Come on, you better step up, right? Paul Newman's a heck of a guy. All right.
I'm coming along.
You are. You're doing good. But we want to think about this. Standing over a dog without smiling. Poor Audrey, she'll be traumatized and never come back. You're a good sport.
Hi there, Beth.
Now this is more like it is. Carolyn, come back and bite me someday. You're gonna touch her. She's been around me too long. Okay, look at. This is what we do to a child. It's the same thing we do to the dog. Now, one of the hardest things is to teach that dog to test us a little bit respectfully. Right? Okay, come here. Put your book down. All right. Now, you're going to tell me to back off. Ooh. Now, this will tell you how good I have been at this. I've been working on this child for 3 years. Now, this would be what we ask children to do if a stranger comes up to them. Why don't you come out kind of here? Because I want you to have, you come that way. Because I want you to have space to go. All right? Now, hey, little girl.
Back off. Back off.
Good job. We have to practice that. But we don't let our kids do that, but we encourage our dog. So a little dog comes up here, and we stand there and celebrate that. Our children, we kind of correct them if they're being rude. Right? Okay. You wait there. Now, you don't know me. I'm a stranger. You wait. Hey, you, come back here. That's what you're looking for. On the other hand, come here. Same thing in dogs as it is in kids. All right, now, you know me now. And you have, let's see, what did you just do? Any number of things. Now, what did you do with something of mine?
You broke the feather duster.
Oh, not my feather duster.
Again.
Oh no, again?
You know, it's really bad. I have a feather duster, but I really like all the dust. It's specifically laid
Evenly
there.
distributed.
And she takes that darn thing and moves my dust around. Okay. Now, you're going to step out just a little bit. All right. All right. Reina, what's this? What is this? No, you wouldn't do that, would you? What would you say?
Dust.
It's the feather duster.
The feather duster.
Who broke it?
Me.
Why? What happened?
Louder, Reina.
Yep. That's hard.
You can't hear.
Yeah, that's hard.
That's because I'm not saying anything.
That's right.
Oh, good.
That's right. But she stood there when it was appropriate, didn't she? Now we do the opposite with the dog. All right, now you're a little puppy. You're going to bark at me when I come not yet.
You told me to bark.
Now you're going to bark because you want me to go away. Okay? Now you come at me. Ooh, she's mean. She's mean. Okay, now you're going to go back out there. Now she chewed up the feather duster. Okay. Reina, you come back here. No, you're running away. You come back here. You chewed up my feather duster. Is that totally the opposite of what we do with our kids? Reina, here. Wait. Oh. By George, you take this feather duster and put it away. Thank you. The rules for the kids should be the same as the dog. So when we have a dog like this and we take it into a class, let me pick. As long as he can stay away from us, he's pretty safe.
Bye.
Even Sue was safe if I stayed away from him. It's when you come up on top of them that's scary. So for a little short guy like this, you are fine. Don't. You won't now.
No, if people would pick up a little dog
I
like
understand.
that, just like you did with
Yeah.
him over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. You hold this line. I know he won't bite me. I know. So if I'm holding him like this, it's not threatening anymore, is it? If I stick my hand, oh stop it, between his front legs and hold his leg, I know he's not going anywhere. So now, hi there.
Howdy.
I have to show him.
How do you do?
We're not afraid of these people. If he's got to be there for a judge, what do you think? He's looking now down at these people. We're putting the red noses on them, you know. Hi there. Okay.
Yeah, Jill said if people would just pick up small dogs like that, I don't have my regular.
Oh, nobody would get bit. It's when they reach down for them.
Okay.
So when they slink away and you reach for them, they can't go anywhere else.
Right. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So I actually, when we were first starting the class, I walked in. There's a woman with me with a big fat puggle. That's exactly how I handle that dog. That dog would bite you. You notice how anybody who was here, I was doing his toenails. But he's got an attitude. Believe me, easy. Don't. Now Joan says he won't bite.
Not if you pick him up exactly like he
But
did.
he's swinging around.
But he's used
Yeah,
to being picked up.
I know. But that was not a comfortable, I had to catch him.
Joan, as opposed to, you mean like picking them up like this? Like,
Yeah.
I
I'm
just-
not used to small dogs.
No,
Just
Joan does
pick 'em
this.
up.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, unless people understand that, they go to reach for that dog, you're going to get a different result. Easy. See? I can't make friends with this dog and then try to catch him in the corner. So when breeders sell puppies, they need to, even with the big dogs, as puppies. That's one of the problems with the Great Danes, is they swing around and they don't want somebody to touch their butt. Well, that's kind of a problem for the vet, for a groomer, for whoever. I know, isn't it terrible? I know. See? Who did that? Everybody? It's just what he did. Personal space is huge.
That's the same dog you had the other day.
I know that.
Good dog. What do you do?
I held him most of
Yeah.
the training.
Well, it's not a comforting holding. Stop it right now. I am not messing around
You're
with you.
right-handed. He's a left-handed
I
dog.
don't care. Not here, he's not. Right, Gary?
That's right.
He's got to put up with me. Too bad about him. He doesn't like being picked up on the left. He doesn't, or on the right. He doesn't like you to touch his ears. Too darn bad. Easy. Thank you. Good. Don't. Good. Too bad about him. When you have a dog on a lead as your employee, it's not your boss. Too bad about him. I don't like to get up early in the morning either. Don't. Yeah, he's cute. Don't. Now, we are not having this conversation. Thank you. Tell him he's good.
Good boy. Good boy, Freddie.
He cannot tell you how you have to do anything. Because in a pinch, this is the prime example over here. They were in that horrible tornado. Bridget doesn't go down the basement stairs. They had 2 minutes to get out of there. Ray picked her up, hauled her down that basement stairs, and everybody was safe. I'll bet you didn't do it all that gently either. You grabbed that dog and away you went, didn't you?
Emergency.
You bet. You can't mess around.
You're fine. Good boy. You're fine. Easy.
If I'm busy and I need you to hold you like this, too bad.
Easy. You're fine.
Good dog.
It has a lot to do with whether he's moving the chair.
Move the chair.
You're fine.
Too bad about him. Now that chair is bulky. Stephen looks weird. He looks like an alien with that thing in his face.
Good boy.
The dog doesn't know what that is. Too bad. Now that's the one then. Don't.
Oh, that could be
Good dog.
ready to camera.
That's the one that I need to come over here and show him. Good boy. Easy. Oh my gosh, it's not an antenna. Look at that.
You're fine. Boy.
Now how do we do this with a big dog? If we were going to take this dog into as a therapy dog, this dog's not appropriate, is it? This dog would be scary. Yeah, pet my little dog. He's nice to most people.
He's a good boy.
He is. He could be taught. I remember years ago, Joan gave me a min pin. First time it came out of the crate, it bit me. I think that's the scar right
Well,
there.
you didn't tell the story behind the dog.
I know. She'd sold him. He'd been started right, but the people didn't do what they needed to do. And then they turned him loose with big dogs in a doggy daycare, and he was just traumatized. So in all fairness to Buster, I had to get him out of the crate. So we were at the 4-H. Out he came, and little tiger boy. He ended up, I lent him to a young girl to use in 4-H, for a 4-H dog. That was when Joan started to believe I actually knew what I was doing about
Well,
Michael.
I believe that.
I know you
before.
did, but you came and watched me train him. It was pretty cool.
I believed in you before. When you came to teach my class, you said, I'd never do it that way. And I thought, well, here's my dog. I had a dog.
Show me.
I had 3 dogs. 2 of them were great. The third one was like this. And she said, I could have that dog doing what you want in 10 minutes. And I said, here, show me. She tied the dog to the wall. And people sat around just like we are here.
Oh,
There
yeah.
weren't this many. And it took 20 minutes, because I've been practicing him doing it wrong a long time. And in 20 minutes, everybody that was there could walk that dog around. We did just great. And he finished his championship lickety-split, and he's went to a new home, and they're happy as can be. But it was a matter of doing it so that the dog knew that this was the deal, and just like this.
Yep.
Just like Otis.
Well, in true show person fashion, I told her 10 minutes. We get all done after the dog's doing just great. And she said, it took you 20 minutes.
Yeah, I always make sure I tell